There she is.
Hi.
The one and only.
How did you do it?
Is it Carla or Farrah Fawcett? Jesus Christ.
It's a little bit of both. It's Farrah Flu, one of my pandemic drag queen names.
You had another good drag queen name today on Facebook. I can't remember it right now though.
Antibody.
Yeah. Now, for anybody watching this, I'm going to give you your big fancy intro in a second, but Jenna, can you guess what city Carla is in right now?
Well, according to her Twitter, I know she's on the West Coast.
Oh, right.
So I'm hoping you're in Vancouver too.
Sure. I'm like a Thai hooker, Jenna. What do you want me to be? And where?
She is in LA, baby. Yeah. Look at that top.
Hang on. Do you know why I'm wearing this dress?
Because wow.
Yes, that's right. So at any point.
At any point. All right. Well, you know what? The
curtains match the drapes.
I feel like that's not true.
Not when you have hardwood floors, sugar. But but yeah, this is what I'm going to wear because, come on, my friend makes these masks, Jorge Del Busto. I am Pandemic. That's my other drag queen name. I'm fully embracing this. I'm all in on it.
All right. Well, and I'm glad that you're talking to us today because you have a big show coming up after this that I've become a huge fan on. But first, let me tell everybody who you are because if you don't know, you should know Carla Collins. She has a fabulous resume, which we'll get into. But one of the reasons you're here right now is to talk about the Quarantine Comedy Queen Hour, happy hour, I should say. Now we've got Jenna's attention. So every week you're doing stand-up on Facebook Live, essentially.
I do like an hour special every week.
I have to, well, okay, I have so many things to say about that, but let me give you let me give my spiel because it's what I do. Okay, so Carla Collins, she is the queen of comedic meditation in quarantine. She also runs Comedic Happy Hour, which we'll talk about. I'm just repeating myself at this point, but Carla has toured all over North America, is a regular at the Laugh Factory, a booze hound like us, and she's toured with the Hot Tamales. Carla, what are the Hot Tamales?
I feel like we're going off of a very old resume.
I'm going off Wikipedia.
Oh, honey, no, there's nothing accurate about Wikipedia.
Oh, well, it seems very impressive.
I sent you 2 websites.
Oh my God, those are the 2 big topics. But there's other things about your career that I'm fascinated with, including this movie, The Hack, where you play.
Oh gosh, somebody wrote that for. Why is this? There's nothing accurate. But it's fun.
What we're going to do is just edit all of this out and start over. No, we're not.
No. Please, this is where the magic is. The Hack is a movie that a friend of mine wrote with me in mind, where I kill off a bunch of comedians and take over their material. So the humor comes in me doing like Russell Peters, Indian-laced shtick. Or, Louis C.K., where I just masturbate in front of younger men comics.
Okay. Or Joan Rivers, where you play yourself. Hey-oh.
Hey, what's up? Hey, that's a compliment.
I know it is.
I'm happy to be Joan Rivers 2.0 or whatever. I like to think I'm my own entity, but I'm happy for any comparison. You know that.
Well, we've talked about Joan a lot because we both have a soft spot for her. Did you ever meet Joan Rivers?
I did. I opened for her once.
Bitch.
I know.
I thought I was so accomplished because I opened for you once.
And you obviously that trumps what I just said.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to take a drink whenever I say Trump.
No.
So it's like 3 p.m. in the West Coast. Jenna, are you having a wine?
I'm not, and I'm starting to think I should be going to get a wine now.
Come on, bitches.
Okay, I'll be right back. You two ladies chat.
Get yourself some bubbles. No, actually, you know what really just I had a wine sponsor and I don't generally drink wine. I drink bubbles.
Yes.
And I got a little bit wasted on the wine because I'm not actually a very big drinker.
And
so
you're starting with us, and this is like an hour and a half. We're recording this before your quarantine comedy happy hour, so I can't wait.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's going to be good. So let's talk about that because this has been messing with me as a fellow stand-up. I'm struggling because I feel like it's the one art form you can't translate to online. It's so live, music you can sing, all that shit. So to be honest with you, when I saw you were going to do this, I thought, oh, here we go. This is going to be a fucking mess. But it wasn't. And you know what? You're not the only one trying, but you're actually doing it, and it's funny. So I'm very impressed with you because I haven't gotten the balls to try. Was it weird at first?
It was. Now, I did some for this private face group page or group, I guess, the first time I did it, and ended up going over an hour. I did have, I have my older gentleman lover, who's one of my, who I selected to quarantine with. So there was a warm body, which I think helps. But I'll tell you, Jesse, I think you'd be great at it. I feel like all my years in TV and radio, I'm used to not getting laughs. That helps too. Obviously, I'd much prefer to be in front of a live crowd, and we're all missing that, immediate gratification and the warmth and the energy. But because I've really done broadcasting far longer than I have comedy in many respects, it was a bit second nature. I don't exactly like seeing my mug back the whole time because you get, my ADD, I'm like, is one boob lower or whatever it is. I don't like how but and also on FB Live or an Instagram Live, people do get to comment. So, it feels a little, or they send out hearts. So, it feels a bit reciprocal, and everybody seemed to like it. So I did one, on the down low, the first one. And I thought, okay, hell, we'll bring this to my page. Let's do this.
It passed the test.
And I was just going to do one, but they're like, okay, every week. And I thought, well, we'll do it for as long as I can.
It's amazing that you can evolve like that, because I even see some of the biggest names on television, some of the late night hosts and whatnot doing their show, and it just looks so awkward and it doesn't feel right.
Hasn't that been telling? That's been a big, whoa.
Right. And as, former radio person, you do have to continue to always have content and come up with new and fun and creative ways to do things. So it's great that you mentioned that, because you're going to see that difference in Hollywood, I think, now, of who the real stars are and who are just a pretty face.
Well, it's funny that some people, look, I'm not a big Jimmy Fallon fan. He kind of, cheers, love. Santé, ma belle.
Woo-hoo!
I'm not a big Jimmy Fallon fan, to be honest, as a late night talk show host, and he seems to be doing better in this environment. And Stephen Colbert, whom I adore, just looks pissed off, like he's not having this. And it has been awkward. I think, I don't know, for some, I guess it just has to be organic. Here's the thing, they're in mansions. They make millions. They're used to everybody having great graphics and lasers and dancing boys. And, I'm pretty ghetto. So I'm used to doing, I've done a lot of Canadian TV and radio. So I'm used to doing a low budget. So I think that helped.
You're used to doing your own makeup. You have like Wendy Williams, who looks worse and worse every day. No offense, Wendy, but you can tell without the makeup and hair, it's challenging times for them.
Oh, it's challenging times for all of us. I'm at home trying to make homemade Botox using crazy glue and almond milk and essential oils. I swear.
Have you found the right balance yet? Because I'm looking too.
Be the first one I tell you. You're 12 years old. You're fine.
Thank you. But okay, now that you brought that up, what is going on in LA? Are the blondes just vanishing?
Well, there's a great box hair color that's available at Whole Foods that I know I've used. I don't see a lot of people out in the wild except for the dog walks. So they're probably on the down low. I was thinking next time I would like to quarantine with my hairdresser. It's literally who I'd pick.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's a great question. Like, who would you quarantine with now that we've been through it? And a hairdresser, I'd have to agree. I would want my lash lady. I miss my eyelashes.
Lash lady. Yeah, it's a good call. Yeah, really anything. I'm as deep as a lunch tray, as Jesse will tell you, Jenna. So it's really anybody who can help me look good. Also, just maybe a lighting person. I'm trying to do my own. I have no idea. I did some staging for you.
Do you have a proper big ring? I just have one of these stupid ass ones you clip onto your. What are you using?
No, I'm using house lights.
Oh wow, it looks pretty good. You have a glow.
Oh, that's good.
I would do this over. I would just quarantine with a man that could lay on top of me. That's what I'm missing. Jesus Christ, it's lonely.
I have that. I could rent you my older gentleman lover. He's
well,
hot.
It's a long drive. It's a long drive.
Well, not for him.
You started morning radio right here in Ontario, and look at you now. So Jenna, there's hope for us yet.
Well, guys, I wanted to say congratulations. You're the #1 podcast. That's way more the future, guys and dolls, than radio. If you're #1 on iTunes, you're doing something right. And really, because everybody has I'd like to maybe try a podcast, I guess, but I just think there's so much competition. It's amazing that you have, this is where to be. This is the future. Come on.
Well, thank you. And I could let you compliment us all day long, but what I was trying to get at was I think that your work in radio really does make you able to handle those awkward moments when you're on live. And now I'm rethinking it, because when I watch you, one of the things is you hear the punchline and you expect to laugh, but it's the way you handle it and the way you transition to your next topic or joke that's in lieu of a laugh. I don't know if I'm explaining this properly, but some other hacks try to do stand-up and they just are like, so my next joke, like you have to be in your character, and you do that
Carla,
well.
I mentioned to Jesse a long time ago in this quarantine that he needs to do a set on Facebook Live. And you actually said to me, Jesse, that you were scared of people stealing your material.
Well, not so much stealing it, but then once they see it, they've seen it, and then who needs to come see me at Yuck Yucks? Because one big misconception about stand-ups is that we change our shit up all the time. We don't.
I do.
Well, you have to now because you're doing it live.
Well, I have been right. And a lot of things I'm doing are quarantine specific. So it's not like I think they're going to translate in a year anyway. But I'm not sure how quick the clubs are going to come back. I don't know. I think I'm just trying to pivot, and I've been enjoying it. And I'm kind of doing a bit of a podcast myself, really, with it, like what you guys are doing, except for it's just me bouncing off my older gentleman lover, making jokes with Dr. Zira. I don't know where
shout out. Let's all show our cheese.
I don't have any.
Oh my God, so cute. Show us your puppies, Jenna.
Yeah.
Here's my pet.
Oh, double fisting. I love it. I know. I've been really seriously thinking of getting another one because Miles passed away, and now I'm the white woman who brings a chihuahua everywhere. Just in LA. Case it wasn't enough of a cliche. Exactly. And it's, by the way, it's hotter than Satan's ball sack today. And I've turned off the air conditioning, so I'm going to start to really glow. So you'll let me know. I've got powder standing by. But I don't know. It's, I'm just goofing off in front of the camera. So I don't have a podcast. Otherwise, I'm just going to be like entertaining people against their will at Whole Foods, like just doing 10 tight minutes at checkout 6 feet away from everyone in a mask. And I was already doing that before the pandemic. So,
Right. Like, how do you think this pandemic is really going to change Hollywood, though?
Well, I think it's going to change everything. So I think it will definitely change Hollywood. Well, also, I feel like, and I don't think I'm the only one, a lot of the big stars have been a little tone deaf with their we're all in this together. Are we? I'm coming to you live from my 2-bedroom apartment in Sherman Oaks.
Right.
You're in a mansion with a moat and a butler called Cavendish.
Yeah.
You're fine. So I think we saw how, they were a little bit irrelevant. And I feel like they're hitting the wrong notes. Like even on the One World music thing, I was like, what's Beyonce's lipstick all about? It's aggressive.
Well, not to mention, I watched that the other day finally, and it was, excuse my language, it was fucking depressing.
Thank you.
It really was.
Like, nothing uplifting other than the Rolling Stones and Elton John.
Yeah,
and
Rolling
of course,
Stones were great.
Right, and Celine at the end with Bocelli and all of that was fabulous. But other than that, I was like, are you supposed to be lifting us up? You're making me cry, and you're actually making me realize the worst of this pandemic. Like, this should be hope, and let's help each other out. Also, if every single person in that video maybe donated a couple $1 million, they would have doubled the money that they raised.
No kidding. I know. I was just like, are they going to ask us for money? Because that's going to be something else. I don't know. I mean, other than J-Lo being my like lighting squad goal, she always great. I'm a fan. But that's sort of what I even say at the top of the hours I've been doing is that I get it. This is a horrific thing. People are deeply affected. also a tragic week in Canada, heartbroken over that, on top of everybody being so anxious. So I sort of make that disclaimer and say, but that's not, I'm going to be the court jester of this pandemic. I don't think people need me to say, well, it's pretty difficult. I don't know how the parents are doing it. I mean, I was valedictorian and prom queen and president of student council because I was homeschooled. So I know that how difficult it must be for them. But I'm using that one later tonight. Now, but I think my thing is just to escape for an hour. That's what I think. The more, our collective consciousness, not to get woo-woo, because I'm not like most of the woke people here, but we have to laugh. And, again, I feel like it's a very revealing. It's going to bring out, it's kind of like a wedding or a funeral, but on steroids. And I always think weddings and funerals bring out the worst in people and the best in people. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing with this pandemic, with the shutdown, with all the stuff that's happening. So I think everybody can do their part. You've got the frontline workers and the health caregivers and the moms and dads who are like using puppets and God knows what to entertain their children. And I feel like, okay, I have very few skills. I have like 3 special skills on LinkedIn. So I'm just using this one to help people escape and keep them laughing, which is it's much better than crying because I get the puffy eyes. And
me too, girl.
I just can't weep anymore. So
and Jesse and I have always been like, just because it's doom and gloom doesn't mean we have to bring the doom and gloom. Like, you can find positivity and happiness within doom and gloom, like doing jokes to raise money, making people laugh to raise money and awareness and tell people to stay inside. That's how you do it. It doesn't always have to be so freaking serious and depressing.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be on point. I'm absolutely right there with you. In fact, I think you have a way better chance of communicating your message if you've got some laughter. No one wants to be preached at. No one wants to be, told what to do unless it's in bed.
Right.
So yeah, I think if you've got some levity going, you're probably going to be a lot more successful. And listen, hate and love and dark and light, very close together, they're neighbors. Yeah. So you shine a little light on anything. And Jesse probably knows this about my comedy. I don't think anything's taboo or too soon. I don't. If it's a good enough joke.
Yeah.
If it's a lazy joke and you're just swearing to get a reaction, then maybe not. But I think you shine light on anything. It takes the fear out of it. I don't know. That's how I deal with things. But.
Amen, sister. But what I love that you said too about the celebs is that this is the equalizer in the sense that we realize who's shit and who's good. And a lot of people who should be way more famous than they are, like you, are finally getting their chance to shine. Because you know what? You're putting it out there and it's rocking and people are responding well to it. So I think that's great. And it's not the only thing you're doing. Let's talk about your comedic meditation. Speaking of opposites, the hell is that?
Oh, I know it. Well, I know it. It's actually a much better marriage than it first appears. This is I created it back in October, and I know it sounds like, what are you even? But believe it or not, there is some science behind it, because laughter and meditation both puts your brain into a gamma state. So they are kind of first cousins that way. Made out with my first cousin, so I should know. That's when I'm from Sault Ste. Marie. There weren't a lot. There's slim pickings, Jenna. Slim pickings.
There's no rules.
I wasn't going to go there. That's why I said she's from Ontario. I wasn't going to, but hey, you said it. So,
sweetie, these aren't my real teeth.
But I love how I loved 2 seconds ago, Jenna. She goes, "I'm not all woo-woo LA," and now we're talking about kumbaya meditation. All right, continue.
Well, but here's the thing. Listen, and I like when you get a little bit sassy with me. You're the perfect person to explain this to. Honestly, I did it to take the preciousness and woo-woo out of meditation, because meditation is just, breathing, slowing down, relaxing, maybe getting in touch with your subconscious, which makes 95% of our decisions. So it might be good to get that bitch on a leash. And laughter, you know me, I'm always shaking like a chihuahua on meth after a 5-hour energy drink. I'm a very hyper type A, I'm not cool whatsoever, and I'm not Zen. So I found it really difficult to try and meditate, even though I knew it was something good for me, like flossing, like, oh yeah, I meditate all the time. There's plaque on those teeth. So I found that by everybody, back before the plague, What would happen is people came, they sat down, had a glass of bubbles if they wanted to. I would do 20 or 30 minutes of stand up. Everybody would get out of their own heads, release endorphins, laughing, release a bit of energy, think how much better their lives are than mine. And then they just shut their eyes, sit back or lie back, and I take them through a delicious, authentic guided meditation that I write.
That's funny.
No.
It's not funny.
No one wants someone doing shtick while you're meditating, like, hey, my new boyfriend. No, it's, no, I take you on journeys. I oil and lube your chakras. I mean, I'm making jokes now. No, they're authentic guided meditations. So you actually do get into a deeper state, and people who have just been literally passing out because they do get rid of, any stupid minutia thoughts from the laughter. And then they seem to get into a much better, deeper state of relaxation. And
so the laughter is like foreplay.
Exactly. It's the fluffer.
Yeah.
And then the meditation is the money shot. To put it into porn terms we can all understand.
That's right.
Well, that's kind of the language we speak on this podcast. So,
well, it's the language I'm bringing to the, woo-woo world, so that it's just kind of down to earth and it's not intimidating. And I tell people there isn't a wrong way or a right way to do it, so don't worry about it. And my only other skill is voiceover work. It's writing, comedy, voiceover work. I've put the three together, and within a week, the morning show from NBC covered it, and I got a night. So it just was really well received. But if you haven't tried it, I've run into a few people with Jesse's reaction, like, what the hell is this? One guy came in, he had this accent. I'm not good at accents. And he's like, we meditate 5 times a day. When I told people about comedy and meditation, they said it's like putting hot dogs on pizza. And I was like, okay, first of all, is that bad? Like, you need to
that
make
sounds delicious.
Your similes or metaphors more easy to follow, because I don't even know where you're going with that. And he, and which I was a little bit worried, because I knew newcomers would like it. I wasn't sure how, people who've been meditating for 25 years would feel, but he loved it because it did. It got him laughing. And then I think all they care about is just getting into that nice state where you just, disappear for a little bit. You can just focus and breathe. And I don't care if people fall asleep. I tell them that, because your subconscious still drinks in the goodness. And so it's kind of my new baby. And I started this business, and I've been doing the same thing. I've been doing one-on-ones since the pandemic, because a lot of people are isolating by themselves. And so, and I'm like doing it for $25 a pop, and spend like an hour and a half. So it's a really good deal. And got the website up and running last week. And
which is?
comedicmeditation.com.
I should try one maybe, Carla, because I've never understood what meditation is. How is it different than thinking? Isn't it just laying there and thinking?
It's actually laying there and not thinking.
That's too hard for me.
That's exactly why I was going to say that Jesse would be the perfect person to try this out, because he thinks it's like a little voodoo-y and weird, doesn't always believe in it. But I feel like if you led with the comedy aspect of it, it puts down his shield, and then give him a glass of wine, and then he's even more ready to relax.
Yeah, there's nothing voodoo about it. It's been around forever. There's no like religious affiliation or any of that stuff. It's really just concentrating on your breath. And the great thing is people have epiphanies. It's very good for the creative process, great for writing, and great for people a lot of people suffer from anxiety. Right. And it's a med-free way to deal with it. So there's really, and look, I'm fairly new to relaxing into it myself, because I kind of fought it as well. And when I go to these guided things, and plus the guided stuff online, for people who know, it's just some British guy is all over it. He's a jerk, and he's like, do not listen to this while operating a vehicle, and you're on a train, and listen to my voice. And I'm like the anti-guru. I'm like, you don't want my life. I'm twice divorced. I'm wearing a bathing suit top instead of a bra right now. I'm not a guru, but I do have some dulcet tones. Jen, it's either this or phone sex operator. And I think they're both, they both applied during the pandemic.
Oh,
I'm not going to say no to any of them, but so I think it'll bring a lot more people to it. And it's a positive thing.
It's like ayahuasca without the vomits.
It really is, or doing drugs.
Right.
And for some reason, everybody in Canada thinks yoga is involved. And I'm like, they're like, I don't do yoga. And I said, good, that's fine. There's nothing. You literally lie back or sit back and close your eyes. I do all the work.
I think things like that are so simple is really hard for people to wrap their heads around, because they're always like, there has to be a catch. Like, we live in such a cynical society where we're like, oh my gosh, there needs to be a catch. What is the catch? And it's like, no, it's just being. Like, just being.
Yeah.
Carla, are most of your clients men? Maybe that's why they like to just sit back and listen to you talk to them with the phone sex voice.
I know, like I've just become a cam girl.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty much divided, right? Maybe more women, in fact. And I did a couple. You're welcome. And apparently his wife also thought it was kind of voodoo-y, but I guess she heard him praising it, and I was a little nervous for that, but she liked it a lot. So I think this just demystifies it.
For the record, I don't think it's voodoo-y. I just think I'd be better to spend that 30 minutes doing planks or push-ups to get my frustrations out than thinking about nothing. That's why I just feel unproductive.
Well, you won't be thinking about nothing, though. That's where you get like the little hits from your gut and creative inspiration and things like that. I don't think it's nothing, but you're preaching to I teach, before this happened, I was teaching 8 classes a week at Gold's. Like, the only reason I'm not in prison right now is because I work out all the time. So I don't think you have to do either or.
Okay.
But also, I don't want to force you. It probably isn't for everybody.
I'm willing to try. If I was going to try with anyone, it would be you, because I like you. And if it doesn't work out, the two of you could team up and start a phone sex business. But because the voices on the two of you, look, I can't even speak. I would call in.
And we're converting you.
Yeah. So think about that, girls.
I like to think about, Jen, I don't know about you, but I like to think I'm the female Tiger King, just taking gay men, giving them a little bit of meth, and then marrying them.
Right, exactly.
I'm available.
While we just have the phone sex operator voice thing down, I just have to ask you too, in your time in radio, did you ever have like, I don't know, males callers call in and talk about how turned on they were by your voice?
I was doing a morning show. I don't know. I don't think anything horrible or untoward.
Okay.
But I'd probably just embrace it, Jenna. That's how I am. Right. I'm like, really? Yeah, thank you.
It definitely
someone getting turned on.
if it's a compliment, I'm like, great. You know what? I always feel like if someone's turned on by someone in radio, I just think, well, you should have that then in your life. I just feel bad for them.
Right.
If you're like, hey, good morning, Mix 99 in the morning. Oh yeah. Okay. Wow. So if that's a service too. Maybe, if someone being turned on by a voice in the morning has kept him from being a serial killer. So I only see that as a plus.
Right. Exactly.
Well, we were talking about bodies, sex, fitness. How are you staying so tight? Because Jenna and I have finally started to get into home workouts, but I took weeks to get on board. I was mourning the gym. I was just devastated. What are you doing?
Well, I'm a class hoe to begin with. Like I really need classes. That's why I just even started teaching, because I was just going to Gold's all the time anyway. I was lucky in that a couple of the instructors, this is sort of on the down low, but they're teaching online.
Oh, that's great.
So it's like being with my friends, and I love them, and they're great instructors. Like I'm not being bothered to do my class. Like I'm doing comedic meditations in the happy hour. I'm fine. So I just, it's just such a big part of my life that I thought, good God, you're alone. At some point, you're just like, oh my God, I've got my own ecosystem now in my living room. I've been so separated from society. When did I get lizards? So I just know if I don't work out, I'm going to cut a bitch. So I made sure I kind of got on board about a week in.
You also have, you're not quarantining alone either, which I'm sure helps burn an extra few calories here and there.
Hey girl, hey.
Jesse's going to come out of this with his right arm twice the size of his left.
No, I'm not.
Another goal.
I'm totally going to break quarantine eventually. I've already been cybering as we've discussed. I'm getting close.
Are you like, so what's happening? Like, are dating apps? Like I was making jokes that I'm on okay COVID. And that's the only, like, is Tinder, Grinder. I mean, I've been on Grinder for years, as you know.
I do. Yeah, that's how we met. Yeah, it's popping. And something like, they say, we keep talking about this study, Jenna, but 78% of singles, both gay and straight, are still willing to go on hookups. And I'm like, you know, I just have to make sure looks good enough that he doesn't have the virus. I don't know.
And that's how you tell, by the way, that is the test of the virus. Like, if someone looks hot, they definitely don't have it, so you're fine.
Right.
Yeah, meanwhile, I've been flirting so much on dating apps that I'm going to have like 100 dates to go on after this.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 100.
Like Costco dates.
That's going to be
like you're stockpiling.
Right. That's going to be 100 dates that I'm going to have to make up excuses to get out of once quarantine is done.
I feel like there's someone in the background.
Yeah, that's my dad. I'm quarantining with my parents. And it's because
awesome.
I'll be honest. So this is why he came in here, because I have the laptop. I had to kind of make a makeshift so that you get the right angle. And I used his humidor, and inside his humidor is where he keeps all his pot. So he's
That's
wanting
the coolest dad ever.
I know. Well, you know how we get down on the West Coast.
It's 3 o'clock, right? And he has this 3 o'clock rule.
Exactly. It's like, maybe it was the 3:20. That's a premature 4:20. You know what? I've never smoked pots. I know nothing about it. I don't even try to do jokes about it because I'm just going to sound like, hey, does everybody want a little hit off the green lady? Like, it'll just sound wrong.
I think the joke is in the fact that you've never smoked pot before.
Yeah. I know. Hang on.
Did you turn your camera off? She's gone to smoke pot. Oh.
No, that was my little brother calling in from New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
I know. We're very close, but I guess I think he was trying to call me before showtime. I know I keep saying he was supposed to be here right now because this is part of he's a school teacher there at a private school. And so he would have been here the last couple of weeks. And so I'm very devastated about that because Lord knows when he'll be able to ever come to the US because they were doing it right. And I said, well, I take comfort in the fact that my little bro is in the safest place on earth. And I'm somewhere where it's like basically Lord of the Flies with ammo.
Right.
Yay.
Well, at least you're not in like Kentucky or something.
Yeah, because that's going to make a difference. At least I have Gavin Newsom. At least I'm in California. But yeah, it's a little.
Well, and you guys just got an earthquake this morning too. So then we have all these normal things to worry about on top of the virus. Take a sip, you know.
I'm going to. Well, that's why I'm sipping. I know the earthquake was pretty I had to hang on to my chihuahua. And of course, in LA, whenever there's an earthquake, everybody on Facebook writes earthquake. And so I wrote Godzilla with an exclamation mark because I took it another direction. Just like, why is that it's just such a tradition here. It's earthquake, or it's with a question mark, earthquake, if it's a tiny one. I'm like, what does that do? You know very well it's an earthquake. What else is going to be? But yeah, I guess the earth has got some messages for us on Earth Day. Like, listen, you're not hearing me. I'm sending plagues and locusts, and Grey's Anatomy is still on the air. And now here's an earthquake.
I swear. I've said this the whole time. I said Mother Nature is just being like, yo, you guys pushed it way too fucking far. There's too many of you and you're not being nice to me. So you know what? I need you all to go on pause. And since you won't do it on your own, I'm going to do it for you.
100%. And also, like I keep saying, the earth's just not that into us.
Right.
There's too many.
To see other people, other aliens.
You're not that important.
And just, think about it, like really, we're sharing the earth with all these wonderful resources and animals. I don't know why humans evolved. Like, I feel like this week in particular, humanity jumped the shark. I really do. I don't know if I already said that, but I just feel like, oh my goodness. I don't know that that's your higher self. Is that real? I mean, granted, we're all living our second best lives right now, but I'm just hoping that, but there is a bit of a lesson, or, everyone wants it back to normal. Well, it's not going to get back to normal, and nor should it. Normal was basically like Burning Man meets Caligula. Yeah, it's not, we really need to pull up our thongs.
Well, and the slowdown, right? I think, and especially imagine in LA, it's this vibe of like slowing down, and finally, like, we all just need to chill. I was on a treadmill every day, scheduled to the max, busy as I could be, and I liked it that way. And it wasn't until you're forced to slow down that you realize, oh, maybe I don't have to be going 12 hours a day.
Exactly.
But we want to be, because we want to work.
Well, we do. Oh, for sure. And yeah, I mean, I get it. I just think I think other generations probably lived through more difficult things, and this is just the one that we have, right? This is kind of our World War.
And
but
God
with
bless
internet
the
and
internet.
Netflix. And yeah.
Like Jesse and I have talked about this before. Just imagine what we have done if this happened in the early 90s or late 80s. No internet, nothing, no Skyping, no video calling, no free porn on the internet. What would we have all done?
We've all would become like hot Amish people. Just like I'd be banging Zebediah Hornblower, just with my big 80s hair, which is still happening.
Carla, how long have you lived in LA? A while now, right?
Yeah, over like 12 years almost.
Okay, so what's like the weirdest celebrity sighting? You knew this question was coming. Like the rudest celebrity or the wackiest thing you've ever seen? Like, did you ever see Kelsey Grammer like vomiting on the side of the street or something like that?
Kelsey Grammer.
I wish, just that intellectual puke coming out. I don't know. I'm trying to think of it. Well, for a while there, I was convinced Gary Busey was my spirit guy because, you know, my spirit animal. Like I was in Malibu, so you're just tripping over celebrities there, and they're kind of just roaming freely out in the wild because there's mostly her paparazzi. Gary Busey was tickling me away at the gym, and whenever he sees me, it's like we have a private joke together or something that he's like, "Hey, you," and he gives me a big hug, and everyone's like, "I didn't know you knew Gary Busey," and I'm like, "I don't," but I think that's just him with everyone, right? Like.
Well, you don't know him, but he knows you after those tickly fingers.
Oh, the tickle shop was open.
Did you go to like a special celeb gym in Malibu?
Well, it kind of was because, I went to Malibu Fitness, which was awesome. And when the celebs, like Rick Springfield worked out there, but he always worked out in Uggs and sunglasses. And I thought, dude, that's drawing more attention.
Yeah. Right.
I don't want to be Jesse's girl. But he's a super nice guy. So, there were, Patrick Dempsey was there. There were like, Greg Louganis was always in my yoga class, and he had 17 dogs that he was just able to bring there. And I remember I didn't quite recognize him at first. And someone said, well, I guess if you're an Olympic gold medalist, you can bring your pack of dogs. And I'm like, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Anytime. So, I guess there was, I remember seeing Robert Downey Jr. Here's the thing. He was so unrecognizable. He almost looked like he's tiny. He looked like a little goat. His hair was white. But I have to tell you, and he was staring at me. And I have to say that his aura or charisma or X factor is insane. Like I wasn't even looking at him. I had to turn around. I'm like, I don't know why I'm looking at this little goat fella. But my God, he seems powerful. And walking out, I was actually with my bro. We heard his voice. I'm like, oh, because it's RDJ. Giant presence.
Wow.
Incognito. Yeah. So I remember thinking that was interesting. And we always see Pierce Brosnan on the beach, and you could tell if Pierce was doing a movie or not, because sometimes he had a belly, and then sometimes he was in like, Thomas Crown Affair shape.
Like Mamma Mia Pierce was Chubster. I forgot about that.
Well, it goes up and down, and of course, Caitlyn Jenner.
Your favorite, yeah.
Would be around, like I guess various. I don't know. There's many. I remember. I mean, I tell these stories that when I was doing the news, I was in these high heels and I fell off. It was the top of the 6 o'clock hour on CTV, and I fell off the stage. But I was caught by. Oh my God! And now I'm blanking on his name. Steven Seagal caught me. And then of course Steven Tyler asked me out. Had my number, and I was like, yes, now I'm in as exclusive a club as Costco. Pretty sure. But the whole time Steven was talking to me, he kept calling me Miss Canada. I was just looking at his pouty lips and his tiny ass and thinking, do I want to do him or be him? Very conflicted. And then I was at the Malibu Cinema, which has since closed down, unfortunately. And I was in a stall, and I guess Adam Sandler wanted his wife to hurry up. So he's bashed open the door and went, hey! And it made me nervous. I let out a little toot. So I like to say that I've been saved by an action star. I was hidden by a rock star, and I farted in front of a comedian. I think I know how to handle myself around people who are famous. Like, you just got to know what to do, Hollywood. What's appropriate.
Yeah, officially Hollywood, when you can cross those three off your list.
I know.
Do you ever miss Canada? Do you ever miss home?
Oh, yeah, and I go back a lot. Obviously not now. But I did do like a whole bunch of comedic meditations. I had a little mini tour at the end of February, beginning of March. So I'm very grateful I sort of got to squeeze one last little visit in before the borders shut. So I still do quite a bit in Canada. Yeah, Canada will always be home. It just will be. I just am very easily seduced by weather.
That's what I was going to say, not between the months of November and May, because listen, West Coast bitches, it was snowing this morning. I woke up on April 24th and the ground was covered in snow. Insane.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, why is it? Well, my birthday's next week. And I only remember like being in the Sioux when there'd still be a lot of snow on the ground during my birthday. And I'm like, why is it snowing in Toronto right now? That's insane.
Is so cool. Yeah, you're right. Tourist season just started, and this is a cool connection. You and my mom have the exact same birthday, not year.
Twinsies.
Same birthday, April 30th, and so does Jenna's mom. Well, the day before, right?
My mom's April 29th. Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, what kind of devil's triangle is this?
You tell us,
do each other.
You tell us, meditation lady. What does it all mean?
Oh, I'm the world's only stand-up psychic. Knock, knock. I know who's there.
Do you have big plans for your birthday? A quarantine bash?
I'm going to do a quarantine queen happy hour.
Right.
What plans can I have? My older gentleman lover is apparently bringing over a nice bottle of champagne and we're ordering in. That's, I'm not a big birthday person. It's, it was not the sexiest of days because typically it's Canadian income tax day. So everybody was like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yay, it's my birthday. The usual strippers and blow. You know me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty low pro. I'm pretty a square nerd when it comes down to it. It's not it's not nearly as exciting as I hope.
I find that birthdays tend to lose excitement after 20.
Yeah, or at least 30.
Yeah, well, I understand that if your birthday lands during the shutdown or quarantine, it didn't happen, and that's great news for me.
Perfect.
Right.
I mean, Dr. Zira is like at least 13 years old, so now we're both just lying about our age, and it works.
Do you do the quarantine comedy queen happy hour on the same day? Is it always hump day?
No, I've been moving it around. I've done a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Wednesday, and of course, I'm going to do Thursday next week because it's my birthday. But I've been sliding it around.
All right. So
no one knows the days of the week right now.
That's true.
That's why it doesn't matter.
I saw a tweet today where someone's like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but today is Friday. And I actually went and checked my calendar and was like, no, it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Were you wrong or were they wrong?
They were wrong.
Hump day. You see on Twitter. What did you say, Carla?
I just yelled hump day.
Oh,
perfect.
Yell it again.
I was being Humphrey the camel from Geico. Because Geico has the best commercial. I'm like, is it like, do they have motherfucking Don Draper doing their campaigns? Because they're all out of the park. I love Maxwell the pig. I love the camel.
Oh my God, Jenna, or anybody listening or watching to this, if you want more Carla, watch the comedy Quarantine Queen. Fuck, it's a mouthful, Carla. Why couldn't you have picked an easier name? Like,
I don't know. I didn't think I was only going to do one.
But you know what show? I've just remembered where I first discovered you was your reality show.
Oh, that's on Amazon.
Is it still on Amazon?
It's just been on Amazon for like a year or so. Amazon. I think I just drooled. Stop it, Jesse.
See, Carla, that was fun. I was obsessed with it, and it should have had more seasons. Damn it! But
I know. I think that we were going for a third, but we had some creative differences. But yeah, now it's got new life on Amazon Prime.
That's
so you can
awesome.
Check out both seasons.
You and Kirstie Alley both having your old shows on Amazon Prime. I love it.
Well, we're basically the same person, obviously.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
Well, and you've both been on our podcast now. Yeah. So, like, you've really made it big time.
With that. Like, Carla, we do our podcast. Kirstie Alley's been on. I'm like, dude, I love you. I'll come on anyway. We're all at home. I know.
I was so embarrassed. I gave her the full pitch, Jenna. Like, we are Ottawa's #1 podcast. And she's like, Jesse, I know you.
It's fine.
It's cool. I'm happy to be on your show.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. I think everyone needs a break from life to just sit down and chat and have some drinks and some laughs. It's really important right now. And not with, the same friends that you have to FaceTime every day, or your family members. I mean, I love them, don't get me wrong, but it gets kind of boring. Like we didn't talk this much before quarantine. So why do we have to talk
I know sometimes it's like, oh, I don't want to do the FaceTime. Okay, hey.
That's an important PSA, everyone. Just because we're in a pandemic doesn't mean you can FaceTime willy-nilly.
Exactly. And by the way, the stalkers and trolls are in full force because they, like I said, this is a great time for the environment, dogs, and lazy stalkers. Because they're like, I know you're there.
Yeah.
Yay. Doesn't mean I don't want to message with you.
You can't ignore anybody.
It's like trying to get off a phone call. You know, you're like, I gotta run, but you don't because you have nowhere to go.
I know. I'm just like doing another comedic meditation. Very busy. Zoom meeting. By the way, why are so many people naked on Zoom meetings? It's like the new nip slip. Like, just whoops, I'm not wearing pants. Really?
Is that true?
There's a lot of farts too that go on that people don't think that you can hear, but I'm like, a microphone picks up everything, guys. That's radio 101 there. Microphone can hear everything. Yes, I heard you toot.
Yeah, it hurt. Microphones, I remember they would pick up my tummy growling. I'd literally have to do another take. For voice, I was just like, if you want to go on an Alma Waterways cruise, yay, super sexy. But I'm so happy to get to know and meet Jenna.
Yeah.
It's been fun. I wish we could all meet for an actual beverage in person. And, you know, I just can't wait to hug people.
Yeah.
2022, yes.
Next time Carla's at Yuck Yucks, for sure, we will do that.
Yes, definitely. Although I always get kicked out of Yuck Yucks.
Yeah, that's
true. I was going to see you at Yuck Yucks or something. Wasn't there a date where I'm like, hey?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was in Toronto. I told Corey Stewart, our mutual friend, who's a fabulous gay pop star, who we should also have on the podcast.
Please, he loves you. I love Corey. He's my side piece. I was talking to him this morning. I adore Corey, as you know.
I do too. We're like the same person, pretty much. We have good chats.
Kind of are.
Only I can't sing. He can, fucking bitch. But I was going to hang out with him, and he was going to come to the show, and I said, bring Carla. But he's like, honey, she lives in LA. I was like, oh, because you're all over the place. I can't keep track. I just figured you had a house in Toronto, house in LA.
Just skank her. Well, I often stay with Corey when I go to Toronto now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, let me know next time, because I got to rebook.
I will. Well, I was supposed to be back there May, but nope.
Oh, It's so sad. It's really sad. That was a big hit for me because that was my first time middling at Yucks Toronto, which, you know, for a little amateur, that's a big deal.
No, it's huge. Oh, I loved your stand-up. We did shows together when I was in Ottawa.
We sure did. And now because of you, I might feel like I got some gay Instagram comedy page reached out and they're putting together a network for an Instagram live show. And I was like, no, I can't do it. But they only want 5 minutes. So I'm reconsidering. Maybe I'll just fucking do it and see what happens.
Do it. I mean, really, it's like, again, it's not like everyone's going to tune in or always remember. And, you know, this is why comedy albums are popular. Like, even on the hour-longs I'm doing, people are asking, you know, I'm asking for requests, and people have been saying, do this bit or do that bit. So you just, you know, you flow. And plus, you could just ad-lib for 5 minutes. It's done
only 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. It's this Sunday.
Put your big girl panties on. Put your big girl panties on.
That's right.
April 26th. I think the Instagram account is called Queer Comedians. So check that out. And be sure to check out Carla's Quarantine Comedy Queen Happy Hour. I guess the next one, by the time this airs, will be April 30th on her birthday.
Woo! April 30th, 5 p.m. PST, 8 EST on the Facebook Live.
It's a good time.
I might look up this comedic meditation as well. I think it sounds like a good time.
Do it. Go to comedicmeditation.com. Honestly, there's a ton of material on there. My friend Kirsten, who is like this marketing baller genius here in LA, put together the website in like an hour. I mean, she's just one of those. She heads like a whole firm, an advertising firm. So she said, I love this. Here's what I put together. I'm like, okay. So check it out. Yeah, and you can get gift vouchers. It's a great gift for someone else.
Right.
I'm going to try. I'm not joking. I will try it, and then we'll do a review. We should do it together. Can you do 2 at once?
Yeah.
Jenna, we should.
Well, no, I mean, well, I guess so. Yeah, I guess we could do it on Zoom. We can do it on Zoom, and when the meditation part comes, because I only do audio for the meditation. Like, you don't need me creepily looking at you.
Yeah.
Breathe in and out. You know.
See,
No
this
one
is
wants
why I
that.
thought most of your male clients, this is why they were signing up. That's what I thought they were getting. No. All right.
Well, it's not for $25.
Yeah. On that note, Carla Collins, follow her on social media. She's amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, Carla. I love you.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Hold up your drinks. We cheers at the end of the show. It's our thing. Cheers.
Cheers.